Hello and a warm welcome to another Junior Taki production. This is Mr. T presenting you a lesson on how to simplify algebraic fractions involving multiplication and division. This is a continuation of grade 10 algebraic expressions. Let's look at the first question. The basis of simplifying such an expression revolves around your knowledge of factorization. So let's look at the denominator of the first fraction, m squared minus 4. Immediately you should recognize that there's a difference of two squares. And if you look at the denominator of the second fraction, that is a trinomial which you can factorize into the two respective factors. And if you look at the numerator of the second fraction, you can factor out m. So that will lead us to m squared over m minus 2, m plus 2. Because you are dividing these two fractions, in grade 7 you were taught that when you divide two fractions you end up tipping and timesing the second fraction. But as we do that, we're going to factorize it into m minus 3, m minus 2 over m bracket 3 minus m. Now that we have fully factorized our expression, we then cancel factors that we find in the numerator and denominator starting with m minus 2 and m minus 2. We then simplify m squared over m, leaving us with a remainder of m in the numerator. But also, realize that we've got 3 minus m in the denominator and m minus 3 in the numerator. I need to make those factors identical. So I'm going to enforce a sign change. Why? Because they look the same. The only difference is the signs. So I enforce a sign change through saying m over m plus 2 multiplied by negative 3 minus m over 3 minus m. Now that the factors are the same, I can cancel them out, resulting in m over m plus 2 times negative, and that negative is negative 1, resulting in negative m over m plus 2 as my final answer. We move on to the last question. In the first fraction, as I'm moving from left to right, if I factorize that correctly, and I'm only focusing on the first fraction, that will lead to a plus 2b multiplied by a minus b. But again, if you look at the denominator of that first fraction, there's a difference of two squares which will result in a plus 2b or times a minus 2b multiplied by. Immediately you realize why I said multiplied by is because of that division sign. So I'm recognizing that I need to tip and times. So I've already enforced the multiplication. So my denominator will be coming from factorization of that difference of two cubes in the numerator. So that will give us a minus b times a squared plus ab plus b squared. And in the numerator, I'm going to get 2a minus b and a minus 2b. The third and last fraction, I do not need to tip and times it. Why? Because there's a multiplication in front of it. So I'm just going to factorize it into a plus b multiplied by a squared minus ab plus b squared in the numerator. In the denominator, I'm going to get 2a minus b and a plus b. I'm going to now cancel factors that I find top and bottom, starting with a plus 2b. I move on to the next combination, which is your a minus 2b. I move on to the third combination, which is a minus b. I move on to the fourth combination, which is your 2a minus b. I move on to the last combination, which is a plus b. I'm only left with two expressions, one in the numerator, one in the denominator. There is nothing that I can do to those expressions, so I'm going to rewrite them as my final answer as a squared minus ab time plus b squared over a squared plus ab plus b squared as my final answer. I hope you enjoyed that lesson. Bye-bye.